The package arrived on a Tuesday, plain brown paper, no return address. Inside, a single flash drive, stark black against the white padding. Scrawled on it in silver marker were 2 words, Epstein Files. My name is Lucia Gray, and I'm a journalist. Or at least, I was. That flash drive was the beginning of the end, and also the beginning of everything. I plugged it into my laptop, my heart hammering against my ribs. It was a labyrinth of encrypted folders, but I'd spent years navigating digital rabbit holes. Hours bled into one another until I cracked the first layer. It wasn't just a list of names. It was a web of power, influence, and darkness that stretched across the globe. Then I found it. A subfolder titled Federal Memos, and within that, a document named Journalist List. My blood ran cold. There, between a Pulitzer winner and a well-known foreign correspondent, was my name, Lucia Gray. It wasn't a list of people who knew. It was a list of people who needed to be silenced. The next morning, I took what I had to my editor, Mark. He was a seasoned pro, the kind of old-school newsman who smelled a story from a mile away. He took one look at the files, his face parling. "Lucia, drop it," he said, his voice a low, urgent whisper. "This isn't a story. This is a death sentence. These people, they don't just kill stories. They kill the people who write them." He told me to go home, to delete everything, to forget I ever saw it. But how could I walk him back to my apartment? The world felt different. Every shadow seemed to stretch a little too long. Every passing car felt like it was watching me. And I was right. Back in my apartment, my security software, usually silent, was screaming. Unauthorized access attempts. My webcam light, the one I always kept covered with tape, was blinking faintly from underneath. They were in my home, in my life, without ever setting foot inside. The walls were closing in. That night, an encrypted message appeared on my laptop. A single line, parking garage, level 4, midnight, come alone. It was insane. It was a trap. I had to go. At midnight, the cavernous concrete structure was eerily silent. A figure emerged from the shadows, cloaked in a hoodie, their face obscured. They didn't speak. They just handed me a second flash drive, this one a metallic silver. They know you have the first one. A distorted voice emanated from a small device they held. This is what they're really afraid of. This is the proof. Don't trust anyone. They called themselves Raven. Before I could ask a single question, they melted back into the darkness, leaving me with another piece of a terrifying puzzle. Back in the relative safety of my apartment, I plugged in the second drive. It contained a single file. A video. It was only 7 seconds long. No sound. The quality was grainy, like old security footage. But it was unmistakable. It showed a powerful, globally recognized figure in a compromising situation that would shatter their public image and likely land them in prison for life. This 7-second clip was the kill shot. This was the truth they would kill to keep buried. I spent the next 48 hours in a caffeine-fueled haze, cross-referencing names, dates, and flight logs from the first drive with the irrefutable evidence of the second. I wrote the story of my life, the story that had to be told. I bypassed my own paper's servers, knowing they were compromised. I found a secure, independent server in Iceland, one known for protecting whistleblowers. With trembling fingers, I hit upload. The progress bar crawled 10%, 20, 40. Then, at 51%, my screen went black. The server crashed. A system-wide failure. They had gotten to it. Panic set in. I grabbed the drives, my laptop, and a pre-packed bug-out bag. As I ran for my car, my phone buzzed with a news alert. A gas leak explosion in my apartment building. My apartment, they weren't just trying to stop the story. They were trying to erase me. I jumped in my car, peeling out of the parking garage. Glancing in my rearview mirror, my heart stopped. A black SUV, no plates, was right on my tail. I floored it, weaving through late-night traffic, but it stayed locked on. My car sputtered. The engine died. I looked down and saw it, a small magnetic device blinking under my dashboard, a GPS tracker. They had been on me the whole time. The SUV screeched to a halt behind me. Two men in dark suits got out. That was the last thing I remember. The next day, news reports confirmed the death of journalist Lucia Gray in a tragic car accident following a gas explosion at her residence. The case was closed. The story was dead. I was dead, or so they thought. A week later, something unexpected happened. A video started circulating on the darkest corners of the internet. It was a raw, unedited clip of me, recorded just before I hit upload. "My name is Lucia Gray," I said, looking directly into the camera. "If you are seeing this, it means I have failed. Or I am dead. But the truth cannot die. The files are out there. Find them, share them, finish what I started." And then it began. A trickle at first, then a flood. The full, unredacted Epstein Files, including the 7-second video, appeared on torrent sites, encrypted messaging apps, and whistleblower platforms across the globe. My failsafe had worked. Dozens of deadman switches I had set up, triggered by my disappearance and the server crash, had released everything simultaneously. The world was forced to look. Investigations were reopened. Powerful people were questioned. The web of deceit began to unravel, thread by thread. My name was cleared. I wasn't a victim of a tragic accident. I was the first casualty in a war for the truth. They may have taken my life, but they couldn't take my story. In the end, I won. The truth is out there. It always is. You just have to be willing to look. Thank you for listening.